Hello, Cassie. I've got your work up here. I was just going to read through your writing. Actually, I should say I read through your writing, and I just want to address a couple of things. I plan on adding more color and patterns to the chameleon and adding some foliage to the background. Totally agree with that. Totally agree. I wanted to work with some of that today, but I spent a lot of day applying unemployment. I get that. I get it. I totally get it. Did you get my email? I sent an email out in the course announcements regarding our completely, totally surreal lifestyles and what our lives have transformed to in the last 2 weeks. So I totally get it. I completely understand. I got your back, Cassie. So don't worry. I mean, if you're late on something, if you're working behind, if you're not as developed as you could be, I totally get it. We'll work it out. And I mentioned that because, let me see. So I spent a lot of day applying for unemployment and everything that goes with that. My work is closing its locations for 2 weeks. Hopefully that's all the practice of abundance of caution. I have more time to focus on school. Okay, so I want to kind of address the style, and I'll make some comments in regards to some of the stuff that you have included in your writing here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the piece. I've got the piece up right here. Okay, so I think it's a really great start. Good line work. You're showing excellent control of the pen tool. Excellent control. Really nice job. Right now, I think that the main thing I'm seeing, and you had addressed this, but we got to get more foliage in the background. I think that's going to really add a high degree of depth and dimension to the composition. Right now, I think you're doing something a little antithetical to the nature of chameleons. And what you're doing is you're implying that the chameleons have this ability to change and adapt to their background, but you're implying that typographically and not illustratively. I would go ahead and add an abundance of color to the actual chameleon itself, and then set the type itself in a color that you have sampled from the illustration. Um, so what do I mean by that? I mean, okay, I just did this quick image search, and I'm totally for this, guys. If you, Cassie and anyone who's watching along, do your visual research. There's nothing wrong with it. A lot of students are reluctant to do visual research because they think it somehow impedes their originality. And that's just not true. I mean, we research everything in design, and visual research is key and critical for the development of any project. So what I did here is I just came out here and I just did illustrated chameleon tutorial. Now, these are all tutorials. Look at the color in that. That's just absolutely gorgeous. There's other ones. Look at that. Just really beautiful colored chameleons. And then there's some other techniques that are shown. Here's a really interesting technique down here. And then just this example after example after example. Look at that. That's just beautiful. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. I would recommend shooting for that kind of color, texture, and detail in the actual chameleon itself. Get some specular highlights in those eyes, really get some details in the mouth, maybe even have a tongue coming out, zapping a fly. Go with this, go with it. Okay, the other thing is the foliage. So the foliage, I want to show you a really awesome example of foliage, and I'm going to go to who had the foliage? Lauren. Let me show you this. Whoops, that's the wrong document. Okay, Lauren, foliage. Yes, this is it. I lied. That's not it. Oh, Shania. Yep, that's it. Okay, look at the foliage here. Isn't that gorgeous? And I think look at that. So the neat thing here is that we've got so many layers of texture and overlapping elements that it creates this enormous and wonderful sense of depth in a 2D composition. So that's fantastic. So note the foliage, how well developed each leaf is, and look at the little veins in the leaves. Just really gorgeous. I'm thinking something like that, or following that sort of technique, would be really interesting in yours as well. So in summary, definitely want to get this guy colored. Maybe even have him eyeballing a fly and maybe zapping out and grabbing the fly. But the main thing is pushing the color, get the little toenails in there, the little claws, eyes, specular highlights, the mouth, the nose, and all sorts of detail in it. And you have a really awesome chance here to create a super compelling piece. So, and again, I completely understand how you're maybe a little bit behind based on our current situation. I totally get that. Okay, so at this point, let's do it. If you have any questions at all, Cassie, please let me know. I'll be right here. A click away, as it were. Okay, great start. Thanks very much.